Alright guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 baits for the month of July. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about July. Let's just get the obvious out of the way. It's America's 250th birthday. So, I don't know what that means for bass fishing, but I just kind of want to say that. And also, let's get into more of the bass fishing stuff about July. As you can hear, we have locusts. That means it's summertime, okay? There ain't no spawning going on in the bass world. There ain't none of that stuff. There ain't no wintertime, it's none of that. Okay, it's deep summertime. July is one of the hottest months of the year for most of the country. And that means that the water temperature is its highest, which that also means that bass are at the highest level of activity, sort of. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, bass are cold-blooded. So whatever the water temperature is the body temperature of the bass. So if the water temperature is like 90 degrees, then so is the bass's body temperature. That can be good and bad, okay? Obviously, bass don't want to overheat, so they may not stay in the hot water for very long, and also in the hot water, there's low oxygen. So bass will oftentimes go offshore and school in deeper, cooler water real close to the thermocline. If you don't know what a thermocline is, it's pretty much like a line of like oxygen, okay? There's oxygen above it, but there's no oxygen below it. Or there's like very little oxygen, not enough to survive. So bass will sit on that thermocline to get the coolest water possible, but still be able to breathe in oxygen. And there's a few different baits that you can actually use to target those bass. For number one, probably one of the best ways to target those bass is a deep crankbait. I love a deep crankbait. You can get on some cool, awesome, amazing bites. I mean, amazing bites. Right here, this is a DT16. You can go to DT20, DT14, DT12 if they even make the, I don't know what they make. But you, just depending on your depth of fish or how deep your lake is, you can go deeper or shallower depending on how deep you're fishing. Again, really simple. I like natural colors or bright colors, like chartreuse shad or like sexy shad, something like that, or like a natural geyser shad like this. In gin clear water, I wouldn't necessarily throw it like a chartreuse. I would stick to more natural. But most of the time, I'm throwing bright colors, okay? I'm throwing mainly bright colors this time of the year. So like, even this is kind of a bright color, just a little bit of white in there, but not super bright. I'm talking chartreuses. I want those bass to see it. Because as long as it's in like the same size of the bait fish, so not some giant like 6, 12, 50,000 XD Strike King crankbait or the giant Lucky Crabs crankbait, keeping it in the size of a regular bait fish is actually what you want. And the bass are curious and they're fast and they're aggressive this time of the year because they have a lot of energy, and the higher the water temperature, the more energy they have, pretty much. They're basically like reptiles. They have to bask in the sun to have energy to do stuff. That's pretty much what the bass do. The higher the temperature of their body is, the more aggressive they are. That leads us into our next category, top water. Now I have two top waters here. I have a shallow top water and I have an deeper top water. All right, let's start with shallow. Basically, shallow top water, pretty simple, frog. This is the Berkley Swamp Lord, and it has gotten tore to pieces, son. I like throwing this over matted, hydrilla, milfoil, cattails, lily pads, literally anything that screams frog, I'll throw it over there. And I like to slow down the frog this time of the year, especially when the things are matted out. I like to slow it down so the bass have time to find the frog, because they may not see it as quickly in the matted out hydrilla as they do in kind of sparser hydrilla as you do earlier in the year. So not really chugging, I'm actually taking my time to actually walk the frog. But with the old walking bait, I'm throwing this on points, basically wherever I see schooling shad. Another one of my favorite ways to throw this is throwing it over brush piles in the morning. So if I see like brush piles on like a point or something and then it's the morning time, I'll throw this bait over there, and actually I've caught quite a few big ones doing that. Just kind of something I haven't really seen a whole lot, you know, a little bit different targeting them at that morning, you know, that little morning buzz that they get, you know. I like this. This is actually the Giant Dog Extra Mega Bass. Probably one of the, if not the best, smaller walking baits this time of the year. And also, the shad spawn happened like a couple weeks ago to a month ago. So these bass the shad are plentiful, but they're not quite full size yet. They're not quite full size yet. So I'm still sticking to kind of smaller, more natural baits. You know, I don't know what this color is. Really any shad color. I mean, if you're fishing for smallmouth, chrome works really well. But I mean, really any natural shad color, bone, you know, really anything like that. Also, all these baits I'm talking about today are going to be linked in the description below. So you just click more and all the baits will be linked straight to Tackle Warehouse and you could order them from that site. But in the summertime, things can get slow. Bass are not gonna wanna eat, they're gonna be lethargic because they're so hot and they just wanna chill and they're not hungry, so yeah. That's where this bait comes in. Literally my favorite bait in summertime. If I could throw one bait for the whole summer, it would be this bait right here. This is a 6.5 inch Bait Fuel Net Bait T-Mac June bug worm. Now I have it on an 1/8 ounce head. I would probably stick to 4th. You can go 1/8 ounce. I actually caught an 8 pounder a couple weeks ago on this exact setup with the 1/8 ounce head. I like to go 4th ounce, but if they're being a little finicky, you know, I maybe go sit down to 1/8 ounce, something like that. But I like, look, I don't know what it is, but June bug and plum, or really any purple baits. Purple baits in the summertime, I don't know why, but they catch giant. I mean, giant. Now, if you're just looking to catch a lot of bass, maybe something like a watermelon or like a green pumpkin worm will work. But if you're looking to catch your PB, throw this bait right here, June bug or plum. Now, I like them in brush piles offshore, grass lines is kind of near shallower water. Really, brush piles mainly was where I stick to this thing. I like to hop it too. People say dragging a shaky head. Yeah, but look, dragging a shaky head don't really got too much action. Have I caught fish doing it? Yeah. Have I caught more fish hopping it? Heck yeah. Basically what it's like on the bottom. If it's just on the bottom like this, you're just dragging it just like this, not much action out of a straight tail worm. But since it's a shaky head and you shake it, the head's gonna pop up like this and the worm's gonna kind of flow like that. This Bait Fuel worm kind of sits about like that. It flows really nice. Now there is this other worm, okay, kind of a secret worm called the X-Zone Deception worm. Literally, it floats like that, literally just like that. It's probably one of the best worms, if not the best worm for shaky head. I'm just telling that right now. Shaky heads don't have a lot of action on the bottom. Go like that, they will allow more action. And just pretty simple. I mean, it's in the name. You just kind of do like a couple hops, let it sit there, drag it, pop it. I don't know. I love a shaky head. Literally, it's probably one of the best baits to throw in summertime, if not the best. Now, if you're looking to catch a giant only, well, I don't want to say it only, most of the time, throw this right here. This is a Zoom Old Monster, 12 inch, ginormous worm, 12 inches, super thick body, and let me tell ya, it'll catch them. It'll catch them. Now, you can throw this on a Texas rig or a Carolina rig. I kind of go back and forth between the other two. If they're being a little finicky, I'll go to a Carolina rig for that weightless action, but most of the time I'm mainly going Texas rig. And I'm going 1/2 ounce bullet weight. I don't like it to be pegged, but some people do. I don't think it really matters a whole lot, but you can peg it or not peg it, but I don't know, like, it doesn't really matter to me. This is probably one of the best ways to catch a PB. Throwing a big purple worm. This isn't plum. I don't know why, I just kind of like plum for bigger worms. It's kind of just like a personal preference. I've caught them on June bug and big worms, but I just kind of like plum better. I don't know. I think it looks better. I think it's more cool looking. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter in the long run. Bass will still eat June bug all day long, but make sure it's purple. It can be peanut butter and jelly, it can be purple, it can be browser, it can be other ones, it can be brute. Doesn't really matter. It can be plum. I don't care. It just has to be purple. Basically with this thing, you just throw it over brush piles, points, humps, rocks, all the cool offshore stuff. You just drag it, but make sure, and then you get a bite. But whenever you get a bite, count to 5 Mississippi. So you're like dragging it and like, oh, I got a bite. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and then wham them, okay? I wouldn't wait much longer than that, or you'll maybe just get him in the old throat, and then like, die. Or if you do like 2 Mississippi, then you ain't gonna catch it because the bass is gonna be like right here, and your hook's like right here, because bass mainly picked it up from the beginning, so like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, and they have it all in their mouth, and you smack them right on top of the mouth. It's really important to wait whenever you get a bite on a big worm, because sometimes you won't get them if you don't. But it's a really cool bait if you want to catch big fish, because big fish eat like big baits. I've heard a quote the other day: small baits catch all fish, big baits catch big fish. Big bait equals big fish. Not all the time. I've caught like 1-2 pounders on this thing before. Not usually. My average is probably like 4 pounds. Biggest, let me think, 7 pounds on a big worm. Probably one of the most staple baits of the whole year. I don't think I've had one top bait of the month that I haven't included this bait, a jig. Now, depending on if you're fishing shallow or deep. If you're fishing shallow, I like a Dirty Jigs tour level fishing jig like this one right here. I like it because it skips extremely well. This surrounded head skips really well, and it doesn't get snagged in a whole lot of docks or anything. And I like to skip it underneath docks, on the edge of docks, and just whack them. It's probably like, this is my favorite jig, okay? I love Dirty Jigs. They're like literally my favorite jig brand. Also with this exact one, if you hop it, it kind of stands up a little bit. So, I mean, fishing jig, really good. You can fish it in under docks. You can fish it like in brush piles or something, but I like it. I've caught multiple 5, 6, 7 pounders on that thing. I really like it, but if you're going offshore, I like football jig and peanut butter and jelly color, okay? I like a little bit of purple in there, a little bit of purple. You see a little bit of purple. Last time I was at the lake, threw this thing right here, 5 pounder. Whacked him on the old jig, son. On the old jig, got him on the old jig. On football jig, pretty simple. There's a couple different ways you can fish football jig offshore. The standard method, chuck it, let it sink, reel it, drag it, reel, drag. That can work, and I've caught fish doing that. But also I figured out that you could do that same thing, but maybe after 2 or 3 jags, you give it a little pop pop. Sometimes when a bass is following your bait dragging on the bottom, and it randomly pops up out of nowhere, they're gonna be like, oh snap, and they're gonna go grab it and they're gonna catch fish. Or they're gonna be like, bye-bye, and not gonna touch it. But most of the time they're gonna eat it because it's warm water and they have a high metabolism and they have a high activity level and they're gonna have a high likelihood of catching your bait, pretty much what I'm saying. All right, that's all the bait for the month of July. Pretty simple. I mean, July is a great month to catch a lot of bass and giant bass. You can catch like 50 bass or you can catch like 3 giants, I don't know. But anyways, stay safe out there. Don't blow up anybody or blow up yourself. Pretty simple, but yeah, peace out, catch you, peace.